all love to be able to, break arms and choke people out and punch people in the face and things. But it's really how it develops us as people. It's a whole thing of if it does not challenge you, it does not change you, those kind of things. And that's what martial arts really is for us. We develop such a tight-knit group. We like to use the word tribe because that's really what we feel like we are. We're like a really tight group, and you develop a sense of community that's really hard to replicate in hardly any other thing, period. My name is Scott Elliot. I'm the head instructor here at 10th Planet Richmond in Richmond, Kentucky. I'm a first-degree black belt under Eddie Bravo. I got my black belt 2017, I believe, under Eddie. I had been in martial arts prior to that. I'd already been a full instructor / black belt under Eric Paulson, I think since about 2002. I've run this gym for near 30 years. I also teach at Eastern Kentucky University. We offer accredited classes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, MMA, and so on. And this is a full-time thing for me here. I don't try to push with my arm. I use my body. I just plant my hand and I straighten out. Now I curl my fingers and I come back in. Then we'll do it again. My head goes from one side to the other, until finally I feel him get weak enough that I can throw it around my body and lock it in place, just like that, okay? Now when we're exposed here, what do we normally go for? Arm triangle. Arm triangle. So I bring my chin over and then we start bringing everything in to finish. A lot of guys want to unwind the arm triangle. The problem is this is in tight and he can't move towards me because I'm blocking it here. The only way he can move is away. So he does that so he opens up the blood flow. So when I get him in this arm triangle position, he tries to open up. Yeah, he's getting some breathing space, isn't he? But what's he giving me in lieu of that? Back exposure. Anytime I see this, I bring my knee in as a wedge so he cannot go back to his back again. This hand is grabbing his neck. What do we call this, Ray? Very good, the claw position. My other knee lifts up so that he cannot escape, right? If we turn around a little bit, if I lift this foot down here, he can trap the foot like in Escape from Guantanamo or Alcatraz. And now he can reverse me into half guard, and now we're going backwards, and I don't ever want to go backwards. So if we're here in the arm triangle position again, as he turns, one motion is this. So I'm going to the claw and sliding up, my knee above his shoulder, my foot in the hip. And now we connect our hands, bring our chest in tight, pinch the elbows, and sit. So now you're in the seated, headed arm position, okay? This is your goal. When you're in the back, of course we're trying to attack, when they're out, we're trying to attack any way we can, but if he ever turns and causes back exposure, then I would slide right behind him and lock him in place. Made a critical error, take advantage of it. So now we're gonna go into what? Gift wrap. Gift wrap, very good. Stay nice and tight, elbows tight. Now I'm gonna turn flat, right now I'm kind of on one butt cheek. Go to both butt cheeks, lift them up and free your bottom leg. So that now we have both legs free. He's only got one hand free. I've got 2 feet. He's never gonna win, okay? One hand cannot beat my 2 feet. So the head side leg, I'm gonna hook right over that arm like that. And I'm gonna take this gift wrap and bring up the Kimura grip. I'm gonna lay to my side and both legs are gonna snap up, pop. So he cannot roll out. I wanna make sure I keep him under control here, okay? Lock in this rear triangle position. Now this initial triangle's just a trap triangle, just locks him in place. Now we have to get the details of getting it in tighter, okay? So keep the Kimura. This helps keep it from being able to roll out as well. I'm gonna take this foot and I'm gonna put it underneath his shoulder as much as I can, okay? Now, I'm gonna sit up to my elbow and I'm gonna grab my own shin. And now you're gonna do kind of your technical stand-up motion where I'm gonna elevate my hips and pull this knee back underneath me. Look how tight it gets to his neck. Okay, everything stays tight. Now I pinch with my knees and I curl or back heel my legs back. And I get the tap with the rear triangle. Got it? It's a lot of stuff, right? All right, so tonight we worked on passing guard to the mount. That's something we focus on like a month at a time. We'll focus on one theme. So this whole month has been passing guard directly to the mount and then learning how to finish effectively from the mount. And tonight's technique enabled taking our opponents back when they make a critical error and then putting them into one of the highest percentage finishes spots we can get into. So working on the rear triangle, for example, is far superior in a lot of ways than the front triangle because our opponent can't get to a powerful base, pick you up and slam you, punch you in the face, and so on. I get to finish from behind them. And then once we lock them into that triangle, we have other finishing options. We could have went straight to the armbar, for example, but an armbar is far easier to escape than it is a triangle. So we lock them in the triangle. The triangle's high percentage, but then we have at least 4 other finishes that we can use there. And of course, I really try to punch in a lot of the crucial details that can literally make or break the technique. We find out through competition at higher levels in MMA that one little critical detail can literally make or break the technique itself. So the more my students can stack these details in and pay attention to them, the higher percentage rate that they're going to have for their finishes, which is of course the ultimate goal. Now, despite your best technique, sometimes you can't get the tap out of this. You just couldn't get the angle right. So now your secondary attacks. There's 4, okay? So the first one is coming back to the Kimura. You could literally go to a Kimura right here. And a lot of times you get the tap. But if you sit up, like so, his arm is now framed within my legs and it's become significantly more tight. And I have a lot better range of motion. When I'm laying down, I don't have nearly the range of motion. I gotta stop here, kind of bind myself up. You keep that false grip, you sit on up. Even if he gets his hands together, this is not difficult to separate. You start bringing it behind his back. Now I can just keep turning. Sometimes though, he straightens his arm. We come back in, we get the double hand grip, get that double handshake. And now you could just try to armbar here, but there's a lot of play. See? Sometimes you can hold it tight enough, sometimes you can't. But what I'm gonna do, see the elbow, how it bends this direction? So I'm gonna bring my top knee up so it frames right above that elbow. Now look how much quicker he's tapping. Here, put it there. Not only that, but watch his hand invert. Now I'm gonna bench press it over my thigh and break it. Okay? And this is very similar, as we say many times, to how Ronda Rousey broke Miesha Tate's arm. Only she did it from here. She had her locked in like so. She had exposed her arm. She tried to go here. She brought it to the shotgun arm bar, and finally she had to sit up and break it over her leg before Miesha would tap. This is why we always talk about people will tap to things in the gym they will not tap to when a lot of money's on the line, or glory, or pride, or a little gold-plated plastic medal, whatever, okay? So when I'm here, I want to really threaten to break his arm. Not that I want to break his arm, but if you don't threaten it, they're not gonna tap. Not if it's real, serious competition. So once I frame it here, I could break that arm easily now, okay? Now, anytime you have an arm bar, he likes to do a hitchhiker escape. See how he's moving? Go back. So as he does that, watch his thumb rotate, because he's trying to find a way out. Okay, so we come back. So as he rotates, I fold it over my hip. See how it bends? I grab his elbow. I pull the elbow down. That would be sufficient. Pushing his wrist would be sufficient, but I do both. And lastly, we're going to sit up. I'm going to try to get a wrist lock. He's going to really resist hard. We're going to do some karate, some taekwondo ridge hand. Kia! Now, if you don't yell kia, you're probably not going to get it. Okay? You gotta harness the power of the universe through that kia, right? So look, fold it down, but twist it outward. Folding it down, we have people, like we have a good friend, that he can literally touch his palm to his forearm. This will not work. But as soon as you twist it, it's gonna work. So we twist it towards the thumb. This is all framed in, my elbows, my thigh, gooseneck it, and twist it outward. So for me, I originally had a business where I was doing airbrush work, custom paint work was a thing, and I taught martial arts part-time. And I started analyzing my own life into what kind of impact am I gonna have on people. And I found out that obviously, I can have a greater impact on people's lives through martial arts than I can painting names on t-shirts, for example. Yes, we love the sport, we love the arts, we love all those things, but the end of it is, how does it make us better people?